Hi, and welcome back to Motion Reel Academy's Beginner Overview Workshop. My name is Andre Bruni, and this is part 5, editing stuff. All right, let's get into it. First, we're going to talk about how to edit things in Gravity Sketch and how to put things in edit mode. So, first thing, we'll bring out a stroke using the ink tool. Here's a stroke. Then we'll go ahead and switch over to the shape tool, and we'll bring out a cube, and we'll put this cube into sub D mode. So now this cube is sub D. You can see the points, control points here, or nodes, lines, and faces. I move my drawing hand with the grab sphere over an item and it'll turn red. I grab it with the grab button. When I do that, I can move it around all I want, but when I put it into edit mode, it will automatically snap right back to where it was. You can edit any of these things. Now, when you move one of these points, that's considered editing. So now I'm editing this line. You do it the same way with a piece of sub D. So I turn this, grab this with the grab sphere, and it doesn't matter where I put it, because when I put it into edit mode, it'll snap back where it was. Now I can edit these points, faces, or lines by grabbing them with my grab hand and moving around in 3D space until I like the position. Then I let go. I can edit multiple points at the same time by making the grab sphere larger and moving it over multiple points. Here it is. I've grabbed it. Here it is in edit mode. Now I'm done with it. Now I hit the blue button and it goes out of edit mode and continue. Now if I want to delete a whole item, I can grab it with my grab hand and hit the red button, and that just deletes it completely. Now if I want to just delete part of an item, let's say I want to remove this face or remove some points off of this shape, grab it, put it into edit mode by clicking the blue button. I can grab any piece of geometry here and hit the red button and it will delete that. So if I want a hole all the way through this, I can delete those two faces. Now if I want to remove this control point, I can grab it and remove it, and then it will reshape the geometry depending on how many points it has left to actually build with. So now I can continue to edit this by grabbing a line, for example, and pulling and extruding that line by grabbing it with my grab hand and firing off the trigger. That extrudes a line, and I can do it again and again and again to make new geometry. And then if I want, I can connect geometry to itself. 2 points that are not connected to anything will connect to each other when you put them close to each other. And then when you connect the geometry correctly, it will make a solid piece of to work with geometry. Now I have this piece of geometry, and you can see that I am shaping this. This could be like a cup holder. Now, if I want to duplicate this, I can either grab it with my grab hand and then fire the trigger off, and every time I fire the trigger, it will make a duplicate. That's one way to duplicate things. The other way is by using the Smart Move tool. If I move my hand over this with the grab sphere, then I move this controller parallel to that in a direction of the axis, then it will line up like this and show the red line. When the red line is on, I can grab it with my grab hand and move it along this one axis. When I hit the trigger, it'll make a duplicate. And when I hit the trigger again, it'll make another duplicate. But it also does this step and repeat thing where I can take this whole group of items by selecting them all with the grab sphere, like so, and I can duplicate these, as you can see. I can also use the Smart Move tool to do this. If I do that, then it'll perfectly give me an array of items, and very quickly, as you can see. Now, if I want to undo something that I've done, with nothing selected, you'll see that the red button has an arrow on it that goes backwards. When I click that, it'll undo the last thing that I did. Every time I click it, it undoes another step. There's another way to undo on your non-drawing hand. There's a timeline. Move the thumbstick in a circular direction, and it will move the timeline backward and forward so that you can undo or redo. So that is how you use the undo and timeline functions. All right, now we're going to look at how to select, move, grab, and scale. Again, if you want to select something, use the grab sphere and move your hand over it to select it. Now it's selected. Multiple items. You can move your grab sphere over them, and you can see when something is selected, it turns red. So if I want only these three, I grab these three, delete them. Now I have this one left. Delete that. To move. All right, there's a couple different ways to move things. Grab this, and then you just move it from place to place. That's the simple way. You can also move it by using Smart Move. Move your grab hand over the item. Move this one perpendicular until the axis line appears. Let's do it in the blue direction. And then just move it along this axis. Now there's another way to move things. Take this item, and actually you have to have this tool turned on. I'll cover this toolbar in another video. When you select this item here, with this selector, the purple button comes, a gumball comes on, or basically and when I push this, it'll come up in the middle of the item. Now you can use these handles to move things around in a traditional 3D manner. Move things around like this. Move them around on two axes like this. This is moving it on the green and the red, but not on the blue. And then same with this. I can move it around here. And also, I can also rotate in any direction. And you can see the three directions here. You can grab this middle one and move this around so you can use it in a different spot like this. This little square, it's hard to see, is a scale. Scale it up and down using this. A really handy tool here. And then, if you want to move in increments, you can grab this and then you hold down, you hold down the left trigger, or the non-drawing hand trigger, and it'll move in small increments instead of just straight, which is, So, grab. Let's go over grab real quick. Let me bring out a cube. Now, to grab this cube, I have to select it first. So move my hand, my grab hand over it, and you'll see that it's selected. Grab it, I use the grab button on my drawing hand. Grab this item, move it around. To scale it, I grab the item, then I push both buttons down and move the sticks farther away from each other or closer together to scale this item up and down. And move to edit control points. Okay, now we're going to talk about how to edit control points or nodes. So, let's bring out a line and put it into edit mode. Grab it, hit the blue button, now we're in edit mode. Now, with these points, you can do additional things. You can, by grabbing a point with your grab hand, you can move the stick left and right to make this part of the line thicker or thinner by moving left and right. You can also make it a hard corner from here to here, or you can make it straight from here to here. So to make it a hard corner, you push up on the stick, and now it's a hard corner. If you push down on the stick, it turns into a plus sign, and that will make it straight from here to here. So you can do all kinds of different lines and combinations by making things thicker and then changing its line style to create all kinds of different lines. Now that's one way to do it. You can also do it by putting multiple points. If you want to make a corner or a hard corner, you need 3 points. So we'll add 3 points here. And now if I move these close together, you'll see now that I have a hard corner here as well. You can also delete points. So if I delete this point, it will fill in from that point to that point. This point is, I can move up. You could take the end caps off and have a hard line on the end like that. Just delete that. To do like pipes and stuff. You can also loop the line. Once a line is looped, then it always connects to itself. So this is a neat way to make all kinds of different shapes. So that's everything to know about editing control points, and then you can change this shape here as well to make, all kinds of neat shapes. There's also the normals direction. So you'll see here that when you have a line and you take the drawing hand and move to the right, you'll see that it turns into a new mode with arrows. These arrows show the direction that the normals are pointing for this line, and you can edit these or twist them around to create different effects. If a line doesn't look right, let's say it looks like this, and you're wondering why, that's because one of the normals is off. So you have to turn these normals. If they're all facing basically the same direction, then it looks right. Let's change this into a square, and you can see it a little bit better. Here is a squared off shape, and you can see that if I have this twisted around, it doesn't look right at all. So to fix this, put it in edit mode. Look at your drawing hand and move to the right, and you'll see these arrows pop up. You can fix that. Now I have a nice smooth. Now we're going to look at the mirror and how to work with it and how to get your item back on the center of the mirror when it moves off the mirror plane. So first thing we're going to do is turn the mirror on. We'll hit the blue button, go to settings, and turn mirror on. Now I will change to precise quilt. Now when I draw here, you'll see that it makes a duplicate on the other side of the mirror. I can connect my points to the mirror and it will make one object out of it. And you'll see the points along the center of the mirror will have a lock symbol on them. Now when I move this, it moves it on the other side and vice versa. Now, if you're working on something and it goes off the mirror plane like this, like you moved it around and now all of a sudden it's not on the mirror anymore and you're having trouble editing it, you want it to go back to where it was, then there's a way to do that. To do that, you have to select the item using the new select tool. There it is. Select this item like so and bring up the gimbal. Now when the gimbal is up, you'll see this box appear that wasn't there before. When you click this, it will automatically send this item back to its original position where you created it. All right, now we're going to talk about colors and materials. To finish this one up, let me bring out cube. Bring out a cube here. It's mirrored. So what we're going to do is turn the mirror off, and we'll make a cube here with no mirror. Okay, here is a simple cube. We can put this into sub D mode. Now, to make this there's two ways to access the colors. One is here on the bottom of your non-drawing hand. Select this and select any color you want. There's also 5 different types of materials, basic materials that you can choose from. If I wanted to change this color, I can grab it, and on my drawing hand, there's another color wheel. I can now access this and change its color anytime I want. I can change the type of shading that it has on it. I can also change the opacity of this paint so that I can now see through this item. Very handy. Now you can also apply materials to things. Now to do that, you bring up the textures menu. And in here they have some materials. Let's say they have this wood material right here. Now to set up a material, it's a very strange way of doing it, but you just grab this reference item and bring it out onto the stage and then delete it. Once you've done that, you can go to the materials menu and you'll see the first slot in the saved section is that material that you just had chosen. Now I can apply this to an item, say this If I wanted to apply it to this cube, I can grab the cube, bring up the materials menu using my drawing hand, select this wood, and you'll see that it gives it that wood texture. There's one more thing I want to show you real quick, and that's the airbrush. You can see behind the stage I have some airbrush lines set up. To do the airbrush lines, you have to select the airbrush textures right here. If I select one of these, like this one for example, I take this, I bring it out on the stage, delete it. Now if I go to my ink tool, for example, or my stroke tool, and let's see, I select this airbrush texture, and I start to draw with it, you can see that it gives it a soft edge on each side, and you can do all kinds of really cool things inside of Gravity Sketch with this tool all by itself. Really amazing. Change the color of any of these, and you can do some out of the box awesome effects with this. And I'll show you some really cool stuff with this in another video. So that's it for this one, folks. Thanks for joining. Can't wait to see you on the next one.